Oh, I set the stream up 1 hour ago. I clicked to go live. I get no warnings about orientation or anything, and I'm sideways on the screen with that whole screen orientation is locked message. I came out of the cast, recreated the cast, and had to type in all the bloody details all over again into Google, into YouTube. I'm going to give it an extra minute while I wait for you to maybe find me on YouTube, because you're going to be finding the original stream, not this stream, aren't you? You're going to be finding the one that was here until a few minutes ago. I'll tell you shortly about the sponsor of the beer for this particular episode. It's compulsory, you have to say hello in the chat. I've just gone through hell to even be here. You wouldn't believe the hoops I just jumped through to make this thing be here. Start the stream and I was sideways on the screen with a dark overlay telling me screen orientation locked. I didn't want to do a whole stream in portrait mode again. YouTube, you've really got to get your fucking ass together on this. It's ridiculous. Pardon my French. Okay, folks, we're coming up for 2 minutes into the second part, the second stream. This is episode 41 of TrampCast, broadcast on Sunday, August the 18th, 2024. I am Delta Mike, and the channel is Down and Out in Torrevieja. Down and Out. A hobo, a tramp, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Some Americans in particular might say a bum. Someone who sleeps rough, someone who lives on the street, or in my case, someone who lives in a field, and welcome to my field. It's not mine. I'm not laying claim to it. That's just descriptive rather than, you know. I'm not laying claim. No legal assertions have been made at this stage. Okay, folks. As I said, I just struggled just to even go live. I had to abandon the original stream and recreate or create a new one. So, the half a dozen or so people who might have been here at the start, and then the numbers might build, well, they're going to take a little bit longer to find us again, I think. So let's just try and kill a little bit of time if we can. How are we doing? Those of you that are here, would you mind saying hello in the chat? Let's see who we got. Are you newbies, or are you old hands with me? Experienced folk. Come on, don't be shy. Talk to Delta Mike, you know you want to. I don't bite. Oh wow, you left. Okay, you think I do bite. Thumbs up if you haven't already, the one of you that's here. If you're joining late, you want to check the bottom left hand corner. You're looking for the word live and a red dot. If you see the word live, that means we're still live. But if you don't see the red dot, V-Hope, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. Sorry if you just had to struggle finding us. I created a stream, went live, and I was sideways again. So I had to abandon that, ditch it, delete it, and recreate a new one. I'm running about 8 minutes late, I think. 7 or 8 minutes late. Apologies. And hence the numbers are really, really low. Look, you're starting to roll in now. Thumbs up, folks, if you could. I'm aiming, or I was aiming before the disaster that just happened. I was hoping to try and hit 30 thumbs up during the program. It's not going to happen now, is it? We're off to a slow start and things are just going to spiral downwards from here. Can you believe it's been another week already? And what a week it's been. Okay, folks. Thumbs up. Check for the live in the bottom left if you're not here right now at 12 minutes past 5 Spanish time. 12 minutes past 4 UK. 12 minutes past 11, I think, on the east coast of the US. And 12 minutes past 10 central. You can all work the rest out from there, guys. I can't list every time zone. But somebody, let's have some people. You're 5 of you here now. You're doing well. You're doing well to have found me. Consider saying hello in the chat, folks, in this early stage. I'm having to waffle a bit because I had to delete a stream and recreate a stream, and it's all a little bit of my Eric Morecambe impression. It's all a little bit of a nightmare. Okay. If you would like to, I would encourage you to share this out there. Tell the rest of the world about how fantastic I am. Oh, what a dick I am. Either way, I don't mind. There's no such thing as bad publicity. It's a total lie. There are things in sociology called master labels. Look them up. You get that kind of publicity, those are bad. Tina girl. Tina girl. Shush, shush. Leave the man alone. Hey, hey. While we're here, guys, shall we see whether the phone's working? It's not. Obviously, it's not. Of course, that would have been too easy, wouldn't it, if I could have shown you my girl? No, we don't get a Tina. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. It was delayed. It was about 2 seconds after I pressed the button. But there she is. Hey, Tina. Say hello. Ruff, 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 ruff. Treats. Oh, actually, I've left them in the tent. Sorry, babe. I won't say it again. I'm not going to say it just to rile you. There's Tina. Real star of the show. That's what you're here for, really. I'm just an afterthought. I'm just the lunkhead that operates the phone. Usually quite badly. Okay, where am I? Share it out there if you could. Take part in chats, guys. I know a lot of people who use YouTube. Ismo, hello, my friend. You're going to get a shout out in a minute. Just hang tight. Ismo's going to get a mention. A lot of people who use YouTube don't know how to properly use YouTube. They don't know how to access the description or where to find the chat or how to leave a comment. Modern technology assumes that you can just work this stuff out for yourself. And a lot of people can't. So I like to try and help people along their way. So guys, if you're on a computer, a laptop or a desktop, underneath this video, you'll see a kind of an oblong window where you could type text. Click in there, it'll bring up chat, which will appear probably alongside the video, with a little chat box at the bottom where you can type your messages and say hello, and they'll appear to me here. And I'll answer you verbally because I don't get any kind of tippy-toppy keyboard on mobile. If I was on desktop, I would. Scruff Dog, good morning, sir. How you doing? How are you after last night? You all right? It's a good stream. 4 hours plus? About 4 hours anyway, yeah. I enjoyed it, sir. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Just telling everyone how I struggled just to set up the stream again. I had that whole fucking... I got no warning this time that anything was going to be wrong. I started a stream, put my phone this way, and I was sideways. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Yeah, very good. Very good, sir. But I just started what I'd labelled as being this stream and then had to bin it off, delete it, and recreate or create a new one. Hey, not so late this time. Only 10 minutes behind me, and I was only 10 minutes late myself. So, Stitch in the house. Did you set an alarm to get up especially early? Is that what you've done? I bet you did. I bet you did. Okay. Okay, let's get on with this. Let's get on with this. I've wasted enough time just saying that, hey, it went wrong, it was abortive to begin with. Let's actually get on with it. Okay, folks, here's the section that, okay, let me do a little announcement. Um, is it an announcement? It's something that passed. I just want to mark the fact that this week marked the second anniversary of me being a hobo, a homeless guy, a vagrant, a tramp, whatever word you want to use. On Wednesday, this week just gone, we marked 2 years of me being homeless here in Torrevieja. And that obviously becomes quite contemplative. There's a lot of soul searching. Where did life go wrong? How did this guy with a degree in business management and a successful business that was employing 8, 9, 10 people, whatever the number was, how did he end up homeless in Torrevieja? There's a lot of that soul searching, which could have been quite depressing, but actually wasn't. Apart from my police interactions, I have quite enjoyed this life. I've been quite successful, if I do say so myself. For the guy who started off carrying a big hold all he could hardly carry and a couple of other little bags and dragging the dog down here, I've built up, if you could call it that. I've scrounged, I've found, I've scavenged, and I've cadged. I don't know, is that just an English word? To cadge. To kind of to beg, borrow, steal, to acquire quite a little empire here. Hello, Julie. I very much enjoyed my fish chips and peas. Yeah, fish chips and mushy peas on Friday. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that shortly. Because I need to thank my friend Belinda again. But yeah, we'll get that. But yeah, my second anniversary, my second Trampiversary. And also the shout outs that I got from a few people. I got a shout out from Ethan Van Skyver, who's his YouTube channel, Comic Artist Pro Space Secrets. The Comic Artist Pro is all one word, and then the space and secrets. He's a former artist with Marvel and DC Comics, like a proper real comic artist. Responsible for some of the things that you would if you watched Batman kind of cartoons and stuff. Some of the things that are on those shows and Green Lantern and things. Some of the things that are there, he thought up, invented, created. Did some of the storytelling, drew the actual comics. He did the actual ink and the pencils and the inks. He gave me a shout out the other day. Brought me a few new subscribers. I think most of who've left shortly thereafter. I had a moderate influx and then a outflux. Is that a word? Outpouring. I don't know. What's the opposite of an influx? Access and egress, or ingress and egress. Entrance and exit. I'm not sure. We'll have to look up the antonyms of that one later. But I got a few new subscribers, and then I don't know. I think the next video I actually sent out, I suddenly had a couple of people leave straight away. Although it was a slightly more sweary video, because as well as celebrating my second anniversary as a homeless person, tramp, hobo, whatever of those synonyms you picked from the big list I used at the start. As well as that, it's also recently been an anniversary of my tent splitting, my previous tent, my old tent, split end to end. This was a 4-meter tent. It had a bedroom, a 2-meter bedroom at one end, and then a 2-meter vestibule at this end. And I'd been in it 4 or 5 months, and then it just split, like the roof just. And it didn't just crack open with a little crack. It cracked open about 1 meter wide. That was fun. 5 o'clock in the morning one Friday when thunderstorms were forecast. So it's possible that these new people came in, and then the very first video they saw was me talking about that. I did a clip of last week where I talked about that, and then I tacked on the original videos. That nobody, if I signpost you to my original videos, nobody goes and watches them. So I figured I'd just download them myself and then include them in that video. So that's what I did. But it's, you can imagine, my roof just split open. I'm a little bit, let's say, emotional. The Anglo-Saxon vernacular was on full display. What the fuck? What the fuck? How the fuck am I going to live? It was all a little bit sweary. And some of you guys, especially stateside, I find, you're quite puritanical. You're quite... Here, I'm about to lose 2 subscribers. Cheers to the subscribers. Oh my God, you say you're a tramp. You say you're homeless and you've got no money, but you're drinking beer. Oh my God. Folks, 30 cents. 30 cents. Not euros, not dollars, not 30 cents. Probably less, actually. And to the sponsor of the beer sponsor for today, my friend Karen and family. They came down today and brought me a bag of chilled goods, including these. If you've been here a while, Karen went home 2 or 3 months ago, a couple of months ago, and she brought me a couple of cases of beer, but there was meant to be 3 cases of beer, one of which was very cold, and they'd accidentally left it in the fridge. So they just arrived back in the country a couple of days ago. So they brought me a couple of things and some water. Been low on water. I've not just been low on water, I've been struggling to fetch enough water to get by. I understand if you're stateside, it's a little bit early for you. I get that. 10, 11, 12 o'clock. I know. It's for those of us this side of the pond, if you want to join in with me, feel free. I know even for some of you guys, because we've got Puritans over here as well. Some of you guys, it's too early still. If I just remind you guys and ask you again, thumbs up please if you could. My aim with this show, because it's my 2-year anniversary a couple of days ago, and this is the first TrampCast after, I'm trying to get, like my thoughts were to try and get 30 thumbs up. I know during the course of the show, it's a long show and people dip in and out and they watch maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes and dip out and other people come in. So if you don't mind, I'll just keep reminding and keep asking for thumbs up. Appreciate you, whoever that was that just hit the button. So yeah, where did I get to here? I forgot where I was. I was on announcements, wasn't I? My 2nd anniversary. Okay. Yeah. One more. Here's another section that I do sporadically. I don't do this section very often because it can get a bit morbid if you focus on this. We each of us. Okay, let me just backtrack. This is TrampCast episode 41, August 18th, 2024. And this section is a section I don't do too often because it can be a little bit maudlin, a little bit downer. But occasionally somebody dies that means something to me. Somebody in pop culture, somebody out there, but not just, oh, it's a shame they're dead. It's a shame when anybody dies, obviously. But in this case, I like to reserve a section periodically, maybe once a month, where someone dies and I say, oh, that person meant something to me. And today, the French actor Alain Delon died. Age 88, he had a good run. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to complain that he didn't get a good shake at him. But he was a real powerful legend of cinema. Now, I know a lot of people don't watch any cinema that's not in their own language. But I've had my phases in time where I've watched French cinema, especially the black and white stuff from kind of 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s. They were still churning out these thematic, melodramatic black and white movies. And someone like Alain Delon was in quite a few of them. And he was so successful, probably because of his good looks and everything as well. It has to be said, he was a good looking bloke. He did cross over into like Hollywood. He made it into America, not as successfully because even when he spoke English, he still had a French accent, which probably put some film producers and directors off. But he was a real star, and I watched a lot of his films in my, I don't know, teens and 20s, I guess. Subtitles, because I don't do French, but I can read quite well. I'm intelligent enough to read quickly enough to do subtitles. But he was I said, a good-looking bloke. Even I, no homo, but even I could. I'm going to lose people just for saying that. But I could acknowledge that he was a good-looking bloke. So it's a shame, you know. He's quite a character by all accounts. His personal life's like a total fucking mess. The good-looking thing again, and the money, I guess. He showing my age. Yeah, I'm. What am I? I think I'm 55. Yeah, I think I'm 55 at the minute. I'll be 56 later this year. So yeah, I am showing my age. But if you ever watched The Sting with Robert Redford, Alain Delon was you know quite a significant character in that film. And there's always actually, I was looking online earlier. There are all these comparisons about who was the most good looking. Was it Robert Redford or Alain Delon? And on the whole, people seemed to come down on the side of Alain Delon. So that's something. Especially if the Americans are accepting that someone else is prettier than they are. But yeah, no, I just like I said, it's not a section of the TrampCast that I do too often. If memory serves, the last time was when Steve Wright, the English disc jockey stroke radio personality, Top of the Pops presenter, passed, which is probably 2.5, maybe 3 months ago now, maybe. I'm not sure. It's not intended to be a regular slot, but when someone that means so, it's my show. When someone dies that means something to me, they're going to get a shout out. So guys, rest in peace, Alain Delon. Salute. Okay, folks. Let's move on. Let's not be too somber. This is episode 41 of TrampCast. I am Delta Mike, your host. It is Sunday, August the 18th, 2024. And we usually at the beginning of the program have this little time wasty section. You see where we're going here, folks? We have this little time wasty section while I wait for more people to join us. We're only 24 minutes in. So shall we begin with the numbers section? A few facts about the episode number. This is episode 41. So a few facts about or involving the number 41. The number 41, as those of you who can do maths will tell, is prime. Indivisible by other numbers other than 1 and itself. It's also, get this, the sum of the first 6 prime numbers. 2, 1's not a prime. Has to be divisible by 1 and another number, not just by 1 and itself are the same. So 1 is not a prime number technically. So the first 6 primes, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 and 13. Add them together, what do you get? 41. It's also the sum of two square numbers, 4 squared plus 5 squared, 16 plus 25, 41. Okay. In US politics, the 41st president, President Bush, the elder, the senior, George H.W. Bush, not the one that couldn't find his way off stage and through doors. If you get fooled once, can't fool me again. None of that shenanigans. Not that one, his daddy, his dad. The proper one. The one that was vice president under Ronald Reagan back in the 80s, when Margaret Thatcher reigned supreme on this side of the pond. Okay. W. W. Here we go. We always have one. Almost always. We had that one exception. The International Direct Dialing Code 41 plus 41. We had this last night on Scruff's channel. Somebody couldn't work a phone to put in an international dialing code and make things work. He had drunk a bottle of whiskey first though, so maybe it was that. But where are we? International dialing code. The number 41 gets you Switzerland. Okay, this one, I was in two minds whether to include this because I've already said no homo once, haven't I? I've already risked the wrath of the radical left. In Mexico, 41, 40 and 1, 41 is slang for gay. I think because 41 people were arrested at some, on Wikipedia they say party. You're going to arrest 41 gay blokes at once. I can guess what kind of party it was. They were having a party and he maybe was the party they were having. I don't know. Like I said, look, I sometimes lose people here. My humour, I told you the other week my comments on politics about the police, it wasn't really politics, it was just about the police and my situation. I sometimes say things and I say things in an irreverent manner that sometimes I don't even mean myself. It's just funny to hear. I'm not a homophobe. I had lots of friends that were gay, but I'd call them all kinds of fucking names, and they'd call me all kinds of names. You know? Get over yourselves. Don't be so... You can call me shit, I'll call you shit, and we're all good. There's no need to unsubscribe, ban me, report me. There's no need for any of that. Guys, if I could ask you, just a quick reminder, because there's new people popping in all the time. Thumbs ups are appreciated. Help get the message out there. Help send the signals to the Google and YouTube gods. Where was it? 41 in Mexico is a derogatory. I'm not sure how. See, when I'm talking about another country and I say something's a derogatory term, I don't know how much humour's involved in that. I've got no. Maybe it's jokingly or humorously derogatory, or maybe somebody points a finger, calls you out, and they hang you from a lamppost. I mean, I've got no. Maybe they start doing the Colombian necktie thing. I've got no idea. I'm talking about other cultures and other countries. I'm just reiterating facts or stating facts. Don't shoot the messenger, even if he's being slightly comical or... You get what I mean. Okay, Mexico, 41 is slang for gay. Okay, finally, but with a long list of subtopics, and we always have one. Periodic table, atomic number 41. niobium with the symbol NB, or also columbium with the symbol CB. We'll get there. We'll get there. There's history. There's history. It's the same thing, it turns out, now. Light grey crystalline metal, used a lot in jewellery because it's hypoallergenic. This thing doesn't react with oxygen, it doesn't oxidize. Well, it does, but very slowly. So that helps it. The unreactive nature means it's less likely to create allergenic reactions. Now it's history. Discovered. I've only written little notes here trying to summarize something really complex. So if I get lost, forgive me. I'm going to try my best. This is not easy. So, niobium, also known as columbium. In 1801, someone discovered something, called it columbium, and said it was similar to something called tantalum. In 1809, somebody did tests and said these things aren't similar, they're the same, and kind of threw away the new element of columbium. Turns out this was false. Now, this tantalum, the thing people said it was similar to and then they said it was the same as, turns out that it's an ore containing multiple elements, one of which somebody named as a new element and called niobium. Some 60 odd years after the initial discovery, somebody said, niobium is columbium. And you had the fights and the people battling for. Normally, the first discoverer wins. What was the one with the was it Diplodocus and not Brachiosaurus, not Brontosaurus? There was two dinosaurs, and someone said no, they're the same one, and it turned out that a dinosaur that we all thought we knew the name of never really existed because this prior name should have won. It's like that. There was this fight about it, and it's like, hold on, the guy who found it first gave it a name, somebody rediscovered it later and confirmed it as a separate element, and somehow the name he gave it, the second name he gave it, became the one that stuck. Go figure. Except you Yanks, you said we're not having any of that shit, and you carried on calling it by the original name in places. I think only in technical manuals, it's a metallurgy, as far as my notes, what do I know? I'm just a tramp living in a fucking field. I know nothing. Very little. I do know some things, but just not. I'm presenting, guys. I'm presenting. I read Wikipedia and a couple of other websites this morning, and I took notes from 3 websites, merged them together, and now I'm just spouting shit as if I know what I'm talking about. Like any good presenter does. Not that I'm a good presenter. Don't accuse me of that. I never claimed that. Okay. The uses of niobium, or columbium if you prefer. High strength, low alloy steel. Brazil is a leading producer. Some of its main uses, gas pipelines. Also places that get hot again. Remember the one last week? Stuff that gets hot. Jet and rocket engines, where temperature stable alloys of steel are required. It's also used extensively in superconducting environments, superconducting magnets. You've ever been for an MRI? This stuff, whatever it was called, columbium or niobium. There, it's in your scanners. It's also used in welding, nuclear applications, optics, and because I said earlier about the hypoallergenic thing, the jewelry thing, the fact that it doesn't give allergic reactions to people. Okay, folks. We are 35 minutes in. This is episode 41 of TrampCast. And that was the numbers section. Usually a lot earlier in the program while we wait for people to arrive. No flies, go away. No. Okay. Next up, this is TrampCast 41. Next up, the thank yous for the week. Now, my friend Ismo was just here in the chat earlier. Are you still here, Ismo? I got to thank my friend Ismo. When nobody else was in the country to help me exchange some PayPal money, PayPal Monopoly money, funny money. Tina. Oi, stop it. Stop. Good girl. When no one else was in the country to help me exchange some PayPal Monopoly money into real coin of the realm or notes of the realm, my friend Ismo came across. He wasn't in the area; he was a little way away. But I sent him the PayPal money, and he brought me the readies, the money. So thank you, my friend Ismo. Cheers, mate. Appreciate you. Love you, bud. We got to do beer sometime soon. It'll be my round soon, yeah? Okay. Here's one. Ronan B. If you remember last week, guys, I told you all about Anthony, and my friend Anthony had been a few times, and then that his son and a friend had been around last week. Well, the son, Ronan, came again, and we had quite a night. He came around maybe an hour after dark, so the flies had stopped. An hour before sunset and an hour after sunset. That 2 hour window, the mosquitoes and flies they really get bitey. Leave it a little bit later, and they leave me alone. Not entirely, but mostly. So Ronan's friend had gone back to Ireland, and because they'd had, when they'd been booking their tickets separately. Book them together next time, guys. But they'd booked them separately, and they'd had some sort of mix-up on the date. So his mate, might even have been his cousin, I think he said, Luke, and I got the name right. Hey, Luke. Tina, go. Stop. I got the name right. Hey, Luke. Luke had gone home, and Ronan came round, and he brought gifts. He brought beer. Now, I think his initial intent was to bring beer for me. But in the end, we sat down and we drank it. Oh, we finished it. He brought beer. But then he gave me a gift. I think 3/4 of the way through the night, he asked if I listened to music and whatever. I said, yeah, I do. But he gave me this big Bluetooth speaker, like a barrel-shaped Bluetooth speaker, that also has a built-in radio. It just recharges from USB. Micro USB, the more universal of them. Although USB-C is getting there. But for now, micro USB. But he gave me this, and Ronan, you left a sticker on, mate, the price sticker. Very naughty. You should not be spending that much on me, my friend. Especially without asking whether I already had something. I do have a beetle-shaped, a little speaker, but this thing's... Whoa. Thank you. We'll get to I'll hold something back about this, because Ronan also did something else later in the week. MJM, is that a C or a G? Sorry, I don't know if that's a dot on my screen or if that's a C, is it? Oh, my eyes, can you see? Hello. Everybody's welcome here. Okay, where am I? I'm talking about Ronan and how he came round and brought me beer and a speaker. He arrived, I said, about an hour after, let's say he arrived at 9:30, somewhere around there. We sat out here a while after 2 o'clock drinking beer. Proper manly conversation, men drinking beer in the open, out in the wilds of Torrevieja. It's not that wild, but you know. Don't spoil the imagery. storytelling here, folks. I'm storytelling. Don't undermine me. But yeah, no, we had a good night. We had a very good night. And he was flying back the next day. And then I got this real surprise when I got this message from PayPal later. If you've been here a while and I say, that ain't cheap, well, it's not that. It's double that. That ain't cheap, and that ain't cheap. Two of those. Two that ain't cheaps. Thank you, Ronan. You really did not have to do that, my friend. You really, really did not have to do that, young man. That's fantastic. I don't understand why a young man wants to spend time with a fucking tramp in a field. It was the most enjoyable night, and it reminded me of some of my younger days or younger evenings, younger nights, I guess. But thank you, greatly appreciated. All of it, the beer, the speaker, and the cash, the PayPal funny money. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's another thank you for the week. Bella, Belinda, Binny. She's got other names. I'm not going to list them all. There's one something like Fed Up Bin. You'll see it. If you see a pink circle with white writing in it, it doesn't matter what it says in the pink circle. That's her. General rule. Bella, Belinda, Binny, Fed Up Bin. The sponsor of the feast that I just went on a couple of days ago, on Friday afternoon, when I went and had my fish and chips. Guys, I'm homeless. I started in a field with a bedroll. Well, I started for 2 months in the park with less than a bedroll. I didn't even have the bedroll. The bedroll I developed over time. Then I came down to this field and I brought things and I got flooded out on day 1. And then on day 31, I got flooded a second time just to really ruin everything. And I've built up since then. I haven't built up. I've begged, borrowed, stolen. Begged, borrowed, stolen. I haven't stolen. That's not. I'm just using a phrase, but I don't think I've stolen. But I find things and I bring things and I make use of things. I'm a womble. I make use of the things everyday folk leave behind. Like the fan I found this week. We'll get to that. Stay for that. This 1 meter tall cylinder fan plugs into my EcoFlow and as soon as it goes off, I'm wet through with sweat. I turn it back on, I'm nice and dry, like almost instantly. But it falls over, it's bashed about, it's broken because I got it from a bin. It's not by a bin for no reason, is it? But I'm going off on tangents from tangents. Where was I? I was talking about young Ronan, I think. Talking about young Ronan and how it's nice to be helped by people. And then Bella and Belinda, all 4 or 5 of you. And my Tweety's treat. I've been lusting after fish and chips at Tweety's for a couple of years now. Now, a couple of months ago, Anthony, Ronan's dad, we were just talking about Ronan's dad, brought me fish and chips here, I think twice within a period of about a fortnight. And that's lovely, that's great, and you know, that's fantastic. Mainly because that doesn't cost me. But Bella, Belinda, Binny, all 4 or 5 of them, they sent me some money 6, 8, 9 months ago, whenever it was, and said, go get yourself fish and chips, if you can. If you don't need the money elsewhere. She gave me some latitude. And I didn't go because it was my only money at the time. I didn't have the latitude. I found myself recently with a little bit of, because I just told Ismo, my friend Ismo came, he just brought me, when I exchange cash, I generally exchange 50. So I suddenly had 50 euros in my pocket and a debt to Belinda. If someone sends me money and he earmarks it for a specific cause, we had this early on with a chap called Derek, I think, sent me money and he said, get beer. So I did. And then people unsubscribed because I was drinking beer. I can't fucking win with some of you guys. But if somebody sends me a donation and a stipulation as to what to use it for example, I've had people give me €20 notes walking past. They give me money and they say, but not for beer, not for alcohol, not for vino. Fine, you know, I will honour the stipulation as closely as I can within my, within my power. So Belinda sent me this money to buy the fish and chips, however many months ago. I lose track. Maybe 9, maybe 10 months ago. I don't know. And then recently, maybe 2-3 months ago, I can't remember. Maybe 1 or 2 months ago, she sent me another lot of money. And I'm thinking, whoa, I'm sitting on 2 lots of money here from a lady who's told me to spend it on a specific thing. Maybe I should think about actually spending it on that thing. Tina, go. Quiet. Oh, it's the lady from down the road. Morticia, as I nickname her. She'll kill me if she ever hears that I call her that. She's got the long dark hair down her back. Kind of pretty in a slightly older kind of way. I say slightly older, not as old as me, probably. I know. But a very nice lady. She in the past, she used to drop off bread and money. She'd leave she'd put some bread down, a baguette or two, and maybe something to go on it, some cheese or hot dogs or something, and put €10 under a stone. But she's petrified of Tina. She's petrified of dogs. So it's always awkward to even get to talk to her. But nice lady. Been nice to me overall in my time here. Okay, Belinda, sponsor of the feast and my trip to Tweety's, and I did go to Tweety's. And if you stay till I recount the events of the week, I'll tell you all about it. It's currently flying out of, it's my best moving video at the minute. Tina! It's currently going out at about 20 views per hour on YouTube. I only released it this morning, the video of the day, with my new intro titles, which I've only used on 2 videos, and both have been copyright claimed by the music author, despite the fact that his music is available in an audio library with my video editor. So I'm not sure if my video editing software is lying about having licensed his software, or if there's just some miscommunication or something somewhere. I might have to find new audio. I was quite enjoying it. The one where, if you've watched it, the one where we cut between like about 20, they're the screenshots, the thumbnails from 20 videos. But it's got the audio track with the beat. And I timed most, not all, but I timed most of the transitions, the switching of the images to that beat, to that bass line. Some of the photos I'll do 2 or 3 time periods, but some just and I thought it worked really well. I was really enjoying it until I got copyright claimed. Okay, on with the thank yous. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you. And folks, if you're in the UK, and this is only the UK, if you're in the UK and you're of the dress-wearing persuasion, handbags, necklaces, earrings, the accoutrements, she only delivers in the UK. But on the chip shop video, on the Tweety's video, there's a link to Belinda's eBay store. If you're of a dress-wearing persuasion. So yes, Scruff Dog. Maybe. Don't know if he's still here. He'll be back in chat in about 3 seconds if he is. But no, UK only, I'm afraid. What else have I got for you, folks? What else have I got for you? On the thank yous. Oh, Patrick from Hungary. This is one, folks. I'm in my tent one lunchtime, maybe early afternoon. It's getting a bit hot and sweaty. And a guy shouts across from this little track from the road, like, "Hola, hola, hola, señor, hello." And he I come out, and you know, obviously the dog reacts and wants to go and eat somebody. Clown. The dog wants to go across and eat somebody, but the dog runs across, and I tell the guy that no, it's solo ruido. It's only noise. The bark's worse than the bite. Well, there is no bite so far. Except for that one policeman, apparently. Allegedly. I know nothing, but allegedly. But I'm going to guess she deserved it, given what they did to her. But Patrick from Hungary, this guy shouts across, and I start talking to him, and he says, "Do you want some ice?" And he's got these cups. He's got ice and he's got cups. Nothing to actually drink, but ice and cups. And then he says, "Do you want water?" And I said, "Oh, always." So water's been a struggle to get enough here recently. Finding the right time of day when it's not too hot to bring it here. And he walked around down the path and across, and he parked on the cliff tops over that way. And he walked back 6 1.5 litre bottles, so brought me 9 litres of water. That was nice. 9 litres of water and some ice. Enough ice to keep the water cold for that day. All the water I was going to drink anyway. So that was good. Thank you, Patrick from Hungary. You're a credit to your nation, sir. Yeah, ice and water. Now, also this week, Tom arrived last weekend, wasn't it? I was waiting for him on Friday, and he arrived on Saturday. And this is where when Ronan came, I was waiting for Tom, and Ronan and his friend Luke pulled up on their bike. Tom comes on a bike, so Tom had said, "Hey, expect me, maybe not Friday, maybe not Thursday, but maybe Friday." And I was waiting on Friday, heard a bike pull up, expecting it to be Tom, and I came out and I'm like, "You're not Tom." It's these 2 young lads, 20 or thereabouts, 2021. But Tom came last Saturday, but then he came through the week, and he brought me some frozen watermelon and a bottle of frozen water. And later in the week he came and he brought me a hot chicken dinner. He went to the market, he got, I don't know whether he got half a chicken or full chicken, and gave me, and he went home, roasted some potatoes and heated up the chicken and brought it to me. That was nice. So thank you very much, Tom, if you're watching. Thank you, sir. And finally, what can I say? The ever-present, my friend Karen. Not a Karen, the Karen. But not in that way. Don't be like that. Karen and family. Karen and Co. is what they've asked me to kind of refer to them as. Karen and family. Karen came out on, I think it was Friday, obviously. Late on at night, busy the day they arrive, straight away busy the next day. Karen's very much, if she's got something she needs to achieve, if she's come out here to achieve something, she's not going to wait a week and then try and achieve it and then wait and then have another week's holiday. She's going to get up the next morning and like, look, let's get this shit done. So she did. And then this morning was their first kind of, I guess, more relaxed day. So they came to me and brought me 4 8-litre bottles of water. That's 32 litres, that's going to go a long way. They brought me the cold beer that they were supposed to bring last. When I say supposed to, that means, oh God. That sounds like I think that they were under some kind of obligation to bring it. They brought me a crate of beer that they intended to bring me last time. As they were leaving the country last time, they brought me, they thought they'd brought me 3 crates of beer. 2 for storing and 1 that was already cold. They'd left one in either the fridge or the freezer. Turned off. But they'd looked at it and said, yeah, we'll get that at the end. And then they'd not done. So they've been back a couple of days. It's had time to get cold again. And they brought it round. Well, she told me last night that they were aiming to come around. She brought that this time, but she forgot a couple of other things that she said she was going to bring. But Karen, family, thank you very much. Love you all. So yeah, that was this morning. So those are my thank yous for the week. Look, I know I've taken my time here, aren't I, guys? And maybe stretching this out a bit more. But Ismo, Ronan B, Belinda, Patrick of Hungary, Tom, and Karen. Thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all. I mean, Ronan. The beer, the radio speaker, and then the cash deposit into PayPal. You didn't have to do all that, mate. You didn't have to do all that. Okay, folks, those were the thank yous for this week. I am Delta Mike. The channel is Down and Out in Torrevieja. Down and Out. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode, a bum, someone who sleeps rough, someone who is on the streets, or in my case, living in a field. There are other synonyms, but they're not all as positive. Okay, normally now we would do themes of the week. I left this line blank while writing my notes and forgot to go back to it and fill it in afterwards. I was going to write the whole thing up and then fill that in afterwards. But guys, I have to say, it's the age-old one, gratitude. My gratitude to you guys for helping. In any way, whether it's just watching this stream, whether it's hitting the thumbs up when I ask. Come on, you know you want to. Sharing it out there and telling other people. After this stream ends, maybe you watch a second. One of the biggest signals you can give YouTube is to watch a video by somebody and then watch another video from the same person afterwards. It's one of the biggest signals, one of the brightest signs you can give to YouTube, stroke Google, that yeah, I like this guy, I want to see more. So just consider that. Even if not today, another time. If you watch a video, whether by me or by anybody else, and you want to send Google the signal that, yeah, I like this guy or this girl, I want to see more. Watch one more video from them straight afterwards. Mission accomplished. You send that signal. Okay. So yeah, the thank yous, my gratitude for all the things I've just listed in the thank yous. Maybe I should split these two sections apart a little bit so they're not one on top of the other. I'll look at that and think about that. Other themes for the week. Again, the heat, the water, the flies, the ultraviolet and the tent. My Trampaversary, my second Trampaversary or Hoboversary. I guess that was a big, for me, in my head, I don't know about you guys, probably no big deal to you, but to me, celebrate's not the right word. And Belinda said that in a message to me. She couldn't bring herself to congratulate or to celebrate the fact that it was 2 years homeless. Commemorate or commiserate would, I guess, be suitable wording. But it was this week, Wednesday, marked my second anniversary of being homeless. Stuck in Spain. Do you remember when the man from the council came to help? How'd that work out? Papers, please. And then he got me arrested because I didn't have any papers. Then he came and visited once just to rub it in and hasn't been back since, just left. Hey, Oscar. You're still out there, pal. Thanks for all your help. When the man from the government comes to help, run. If you're in America, pew pew. Second Amendment. We should have that over here. Historically, we put too much trust in our government. Oh, I'm wandering off into politics. Let's not do that here. I am going to start some musings, possibly over on, is it called Twitch? The other one that Big Clive moved to. I might start. I am left of centre, but I agree with quite a lot that right of centre say. Not extreme. Although the mislabeling of people who are this much to the right of centre, mislabeling them as far right, does annoy me. We'll not go there now. We'll not go there now. That's not what this is for. Okay, folks, themes for the week. Can I think of any more? It's the heat, it's the flies, it's the water, and it's the gratitude. And I am ever so grateful to everybody that helps in any way. Even some guys who helped me in the past and have decided they can no longer associate with me or stand with me. I'm still ever so grateful for everything that they did. If you do happen to see this, guys, thank you. Okay, folks, we're at that stage where you're an hour and 2 minutes in. Shall we begin with the events of the last week? We begin, as we often do, with Sunday of last week, after TrampCast finished. Now, if you were watching the program, you will have seen that the flies were already out and were already, certainly in my face and in Tina's face. We didn't hang around last week. TrampCast finished, folded the brolly down, moved the chairs out of the way, got back in the tent, closed the fly screen behind us, and had a quick spray with fly spray, so that any flies that were inside were dealt with, and most others were kept out. The fly screen has got a hole in because dog. See whether we can. Can I go? You're going to stop scratching just for a minute to say hello to the peoples. Hey. There she is. My little fly screen breaker. My fly screen saboteur. So that was, I mean pretty instant. The week before, I think we'd sat out for maybe an hour and put up with the flies for a bit while I tried to watch TrampCast back. But no, last week we just inside. And yeah, inside, and I don't think this is ego, guys. I don't think it is. Tina, can you stop? Tina, stop. I don't think it's ego. I started to watch that same TrampCast back straight away. Even though I knew that chat replay wouldn't be active yet. It'd not had time to be processed. But I was just trying to get a sense of where how it had gone. Whether I enjoyed watching it back, I did. But I just wanted to get a sense of where the breakpoints were and where I would be clipping it. And I didn't actually take notes of the timestamps. Didn't do that until the next day again. I seem to be in a pattern of watching this program back straight afterwards and then again the next morning, and that's when I do the timestamps. But I've already got a fair idea in my head of where they are, without the numbers, but just, oh, we're coming up on this, we're coming up on that part, we're coming up on that part. So yeah, that was last Sunday night. Obviously the normal, the dog walks and the dog feeds and the Bah, 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 bah. But the normal evening ablutions, I guess. But yeah. So that was Sunday night. Into Monday. As I said, normal ablutions again Monday morning. Dog walks, opening the doors, getting ventilation going and airflow, putting the solar panel in the right place and the cool box, making sure it's running. And I had a suspicion stuff was starting to go off in there, though, stuff that had been in there a little bit too long. We'll come back to that shortly. That has repercussions later. Liquefied, putrefied repercussions in the bottom of the box. It doesn't take long. You can literally have stuff like, you can have something, you look at it one day and you think, oh, that's a little bit past its best. We'll have to use that in the next day or two. 24 hours later, putrefaction and just in the bottom of that. More later, because it is a thing. So after we've done all these things, these normal morning routines, the solar panels, the dog walks, the whatever, I played back TrampCast 40 again, the episode from the night before, and this time I take the timestamps for the chapter breaks, the numbers, the thank yous, the themes, each day of the week and the upcoming. But I also make timestamps of interesting bits of conversation. These bits of banter where I go off on a tangent and maybe I might, maybe once a month, say something interesting. And I took note of those timestamps as well. I'm looking a little bit. There we go. Try and get my head actually on the screen, eh? But yeah, I take those notes. Now, if I'd been super keen, I would have actually cut out and started making those excerpts, those snippets, snip, snip. I would have started making those that day, but it's me. I'm not that much of a go-getter. My friend Karen would be, now. I'm kind of a tomorrow, maybe the day after. 3 weeks next Friday, whatever. Procrastination, folks. Procrastination. That's my superpower. That and beer, apparently. Thank you, Karen. I keep thanking the sponsor of today's reverie. So yeah, I listened to TrampCast again. I did the timestamp thing, I did the chapter thing, and I just wrote them down in a text file. I didn't do anything with them. I've gone through most of them so far, but I've still got a few. I'm behind with a few, and I've got about 2 months worth to catch up on after that little break I had where I had a month or so where I didn't do any TrampCasts, and then when I came back, I did the TrampCasts, but I didn't do the timestamps and the slicing. Which is ridiculous, because if you look at how those videos perform now, not all of them. Oh, okay. We're going to get there in a minute. I'm going to tell you how angry I am with you all. I told you last week, you fuckers, but I'm going to tell you again. It's all in jest. Cool. I got my eye on you. Yeah, long hot day. It's Spain in August. You know, it Monday afternoon. You're just trying to survive the day. It's hot. The air is still inside the tent. For the first half of the day, the sun's coming around and the sun's coming in through the door. So you got to keep the door. You want to block the sun, but let air flow, and that's a difficult balancing act. Solution later in the week. Solution right now. I have it. We're there. I mentioned it already, but we'll get there as we cover the week in order. So Monday was a long, hot day, and all I did was play through these videos and then just watch YouTube videos. And I'm trying to learn how to be a better video editor, but my abilities are limited by the technology in front of me and the fact that my phone only takes my touch one time in 4. Even the on and off button only work one time in 3. It's getting a little bit... Okay, Monday into Tuesday. Again, Tuesday, another hot, humid. Never had such a humid day. Laying on the bed, in my t-shirt, 9:30 in the morning. Wet through. Take the t-shirt off, because I am actually wearing quite a thick one. It's a polo shirt, so they are quite thick. Took it off and figured, hey, I'll stay inside, no one can see me. It's, you know what I mean? It's not a body I want to be flashing around too much. I'm a fat old man. But I'm laying inside and I'm watching rivulets of sweat appear. I'm watching little droplets, and then the droplets coalesce. There's the word. Coalesce, and then they start to run down my chest and off. And I've never been so wet with sweat. Tina, if you're gonna sit there for an hour just scratching, darling, you might as well just chop the fucking ear off. Babe. Okay. So this is where, around lunchtime, this is where this Patrick from Hungary, Tina, this is where Patrick from Hungary appears and shouts, and we come out and the dog wants to eat him initially. But I get her to calm down, and he brings me these 6 1.5 litre bottles of water. Fantastic, because I was getting low and wondering how I was going to cope. I mean, I can always just pull out the trolley and go. It's just the process of doing it in the heat or while the flies are biting. How many times? Dog. I told you last week that the Brawley is pushed into 1 inch of top. There's actually less. In most places it's less than 1 inch. A good spot is if you find 1 inch of topsoil. It's not just trying to keep me out of the sun. I want to keep the phone out of the sun so it doesn't get too hot. But now I've got the my notes are on white paper. I've got those glaring in my face. So Patrick from Hungary brings me ice and these 9 litres of water, 6 1.5 litre bottles. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Patrick. I've got no idea why you were driving around with ice and water and coming and talking to tramps, homeless guys in tents. I don't know if that's something that you do as a hobby, job. I don't know. But thank you. Okay, this is where I also carried on pushing and promoting videos from 12 months earlier. The ones about the tent that had ripped in half a year ago, and the aftermath, and the recovery, and the repair, and all of that. That was my Tuesday. Tuesday evening though, I'm just settling down thinking it's getting dark, the night's kind of over, the day's over. We'll just sit and watch YouTube videos and I'll stroke the dog and cuddle, you know. And Ronan appears and he's brought beer. You know, bag of ice and beer, what can you do? I couldn't put them in the cooler because something had gone off in there, remember? But I put the ice down in the shade, in the shadow behind the cooler, where it had been cool for quite a while, in the shadow behind the cooler. Tina, how angry do you want me to get? Now it's the flies. Now it's the flies that are starting. We're getting to that time, although only 6:30, 6:20. Lay down, darling. Lay down and be good. Okay, Ronan's here and he's brought beer and ice. Like I said earlier, we sat and we drank. I think when he brought them, he thought he'd have one or two and leave the rest with me. But we drank beer for beer until 2:30, nearly 3 in the morning. Youngsters. But he gave me this this barrel-shaped speaker, Bluetooth speaker with a built-in radio. So that's brilliant. I've got our radio, but it requires batteries, which initially was a problem. But then I got these USB rechargeable batteries, where you plug a USB cable into the actual battery. But this, you just plug the USB into the speaker, and it's just a built-in rechargeable battery. It saves a step. It saves a step. And it's possible some of my batteries, my AA and AAA, I bought 8 of each, 8 AA and 8 AAA, 1.5 volt batteries that you plug directly into USB-C. And they have a little charging circuit and battery inside. But their capacity is not great. And I've been using them for a while now, and I've been using the same ones over and over and over. And I think they're starting to lose they're not holding the charge as well. So it's nice just to plug the speaker itself in. It's a different option. So that was Tuesday night. Night drink is the radio gift, and then I've put and ... because Wednesday. So, Wednesday was quite a day for me, wasn't it? I've already mentioned my second Trampaversary or Hoboversary. August the 14th, 2022. I'd been made homeless. I'd been kicked out of my apartment illegally, and I'd been staying with a friend for 3 or 4 months. Actually, 2 friends. I stayed with her, then I stayed with my friend Ismo, then I came back to her. But for one reason or another, having another person in your home isn't ideal. And I did some things wrong, and I outstayed my welcome. I freely admit that. I didn't appreciate at the time that I could have been going out and just sitting on the seafront all day just to get out of her hair. I didn't understand that I could go out like for free and have it not cost money. In my head, leaving the house meant spending money, sitting and having coffee or a beer or buying dinner or something. I didn't have the right mindset. So after a while, she'd had enough, and she was allergic to the dog as well. Fair play. She put up with this for, like I said, I think it's 4 months from start to finish, but there's a month in between where we were away with this one. But in the end, she said enough's enough. She was getting stick from people about her man and her lodger, and so she said I'd have to leave. So on August the 14th at 11 o'clock, we walked down the steps from her house into the streets of Torrevieja with nowhere to go. There was a park within 200 meters, so we went to the park. And that's where we lived for 2 months, minus 2 or 3 days. So this Wednesday, just gone, was the anniversary of that, the second anniversary of that. Tina, I'm going to get angry if you carry on. So that's fraught with emotions and recollections and remembrances. But I thought I handled it all right. I wasn't like celebratory, but I wasn't too commiseratory about it. I was matter of factual. I mean, it was just, it is 2 years. It is what it is. So I recorded through the day, a day in the life kind of thing, except out of nowhere, we suddenly had thunderstorms on the weather map, on the weather radar. And they started off as they usually do, as something and nothing. Hey, there's going to be thunder and lightning but no rain. And over time it becomes thunder and lightning and quite a bit of rain. And then you worry about how much rain. If you've just increased it 10x in the last couple of hours, might you increase it another 10x? Or might it just disappear and never happen? Kind of the latter, nearer the latter than the former, but a little bit in between it. So anyway, I'm sat inside, it's Wednesday morning, it's my second Trampiversary as I was calling it, and we were approaching 1100 subscribers on YouTube. It's only 2 weeks ago that we hit 1,000. So to hit 1100 so soon after seemed quite exceptional. But there we were. And I was hoping to hit it before 11 o'clock, before the anniversary, before the boing on the clock, before Big Ben strikes. And we did. With an hour to spare, we hit 1100 subscribers. So that was nice, just as a thing. Hello Ed, welcome. Just talking about my second Trampiversary, my second anniversary of being homeless, which was Wednesday, just gone. Now this, I'm sitting down, I've hit 1,100 subscribers on YouTube. And I get a pop-up from PayPal saying that I've received some money. A little marker on the top bar. And I look, and it's young Ronan, the guy that I'd had the beers with the night before, and who'd given me the radio speaker. He's getting ready to board his plane out the country, and he's only gone and sent me some bloody money, hasn't he, on PayPal. If you've been here a while, then you know what it means when I say, that ain't cheap. He did it twice. That ain't cheap. That ain't cheap. 2 lots of that. If you don't know, you got some catching up to do with the lore of the channel, haven't you? You got some catching. L-O-R-E, not L-A-W. You got some catching up to do with the lore. Oh, shit. Ah, what now? Now I've got this message again about the bloody rotation. How'd that happen? That's ridiculous. Now it wants to be the other way up, and I've got no way of doing that from here. Let me see if I can get Tina on screen. Maybe that'll help. Oh, the brolly smacked the phone and now the phone won't work. It's not accepting my touch, guys. And I'm the wrong way up, apparently. Tell me in chat, I can just about read the screen. Am I okay from your point of view? My screen says that I'm the wrong orientation. But if you can see me and say in chat, but it won't take my click. Oh, that could have knackered everything. I've got no fucking clue. And nothing is, no touch is working on the screen at all. It's the right way for you, Andy. Okay. I got this message, operation is locked. I've got this black overlay over the screen again. And just because the phone got knocked. I am really hating the YouTube app this past month. This past 4 or 5 weeks, it's been an absolute fucking piece of shit. Are you watching in landscape, Ian? And am I the right way? Because my phone is telling me that it wants to be portrait. My phone wants me to do that. And it's telling me that that's the right way to do things. And I'm fairly sure it's not, because we're almost an hour and a half into the bloody stream. It can't suddenly change like that. Thank you, Ian. I shall do my best. I shall endeavour so to do. Where were we? We're on Wednesday. We're on Wednesday. Are we? Yeah, we hit 1100. I got PayPal from Ronan. I prepared to release the numbers section from TrampCast 40, which I know, we discussed this last week in TrampCast. The numbers section, it's me and a couple of people from Scruff Dog stream, or maybe from Big Clive stream, we're probably all hail originally. It's probably where we all know each other from. Most people couldn't give a damn about the numbers section. I told you we were weird, Scruff, if you're still there. Cheers to Scruff Dog, to Big Clive and anybody that's come from that direction. The technical family, as we, well, as they, I don't know whether I am one or not, but as they refer to themselves. They're my technical family, whether they know it or not. How's that? Okay, TrampCast 40, the numbers section. We release it. It does all right initially, but pretty soon dies a death because it's only the subscribers that are watching it. Now I do an evening supermarket run, just for a few bits. Nothing special. But my dog's struggling with a walk there and back, even though it's only 10 minutes there, 10 minutes back. Her back legs they're literally shaking, they're splaying out and they're collapsing under it. It's a bit like if you've ever seen a video of a cow with BSE, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, maybe? I can get access to donations that come to PayPal. The super chats and super thanks and things are more of a mystery. I don't know whether that's ever going to work. But if you look in the description and or the pinned comment afterwards, PayPal donations work for me. I do get that money and get friends to convert it. And I'm going to have a card soon. Should have been today, but it was forgotten. It was left behind by accident by somebody. But someone's gonna be able to transfer that money and put it onto an actual card that I can tap and tap to pay in a supermarket, or do chip and pin, or other things. I can't remember whether they said it can be used in an ATM, cash machine. Can't remember whether it was cash machines or not. But guys, pretty soon I won't be dependent on having somebody to convert the cash for me. So if there's nobody in the country at the time, I won't suddenly starve to death. I'll actually get by. I wouldn't starve to death. Somebody taught me how to beg once, and I did try it for one day, way back. So if it was a case of starving or not starving, I'd get by. But I didn't enjoy the begging thing. So instead, I reverted to my internet history, the fact I was a web designer and a PHP developer and an internet security kind of guy back in the day. And I came online and decided to do e-begging instead, like DSP, Dark Side Phil. If you don't know him, don't look him up. It's not worth the grief. But I walk in his footsteps to some extent with my e-begging. In the same way that setting my tent up in an obvious place and making myself available to be helped by people. Thank you, Julie. I'm glad you can still see me. But yeah. Okay, Wednesday. Been to the supermarket. Karen and the card. I've just talked to that tangentially. About Karen and the card and how that might mean I don't need other people to be present here in Spain to convert my PayPal into coin of the realm, euros. Then, of course, Wednesday night, Scruff Dog's Lego session. He's building Johnny 5 from the film Short Circuit, or films. Only 2 films? I don't think there was a third. I remember 2, because they had the little baby ones, they had them in the film, didn't they? But I don't think there's been a Short Circuit 3. Maybe it's time. Okay, so yeah, I was there on the evening. I was watching Scruff Dog, and as Scruff Dog finished, I was more or less asleep. But I switched over to a guy that I watch a lot online called Ethan Van Sciver, EVS. He used to draw comics for Marvel and DC Comics, Batman and Superman and Green Lantern and all of that kind of stuff. Proper real comic artist. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's now independent because he was forced out. We're not going into the politics. But I enjoy watching his streams. He's entertaining to listen to and to watch. And I've been a member over there for a few months. When you're watching a channel, people can gift memberships, and it turns out they've been gifting memberships, and I've been there so regularly that for multiple consecutive weeks I've received a gifted membership, which meant I could post a message, and it was my Trampaversary. So I posted, hey, second Trampaversary, da 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 da. Push. Told him that, like, he helps me get through. He entertains me and helps me keep going through the dark times, kind of thing. And the message won't go through. I tried Trampaversary. I tried Hoboversary. Won't go. So in the end, I switched it to just anniversary. It's my second anniversary. I've been a tramp for 2 years, or I've been homeless for 2 years. And I push the button, and this time it bloody goes through. Ethan starts reading it out. Hey Ethan, it's my second anniversary. And he's like, oh, congratulations. I've been homeless for 2 years. Oh, that took a turn. It's just, I need to apologize to him. I threw him a real curveball. There he is reading out to thousands of people. And he wasn't embarrassed. He reacted really quickly and really well. But I threw him a curveball and caught him by unawares. But it wasn't my fault. I was trying all these words, and I didn't even know which word it was that wasn't letting it go through. So I just changed it to it's my second anniversary. And then I've been homeless 2 years. I didn't get any warning it was going to go through, while the other ones didn't. So that was a little bit. Now, I picked up 5 or 6 new subscribers there because of that message. But in the next day or two, I lost 4 or 5. And you got to wonder, did they just join because he said so? And then did they leave because they realised, what, I'm British, I'm in Europe. Maybe it's not what they thought it was. Maybe it wasn't them that left. Maybe something else I did offended people. A few of my videos this week have been a little bit sweary. I'm a little bit sweary in general. But, for example, we're going to get there in a day or two. I did a video about when my previous tent split end to end. And I talked about it last week. So my video was a clip of last week. But then I put the whole video from a year ago on the end. The video where my tent just went, and I got my camera and went, oh my God, what the fuck happened here? Oh, how am I going to survive now with a split tent? So it could just be it could have been that video that was just a bit too sweary. Could be. What do I know? All I know is whenever I get kind of a large influx, a sudden influx of subscribers, it's followed shortly afterwards by a well-defined outflux, outpouring, exiting. I don't know. If I get a whole bunch of you coming in, the next video or two that I put out, there'll be a few who leave again, and it's markedly, it's in the numbers, it's there, it's statistically significant, as somebody might once have said. So yeah, Ethan, if ever you see this, Mr. Van Skyver, sir, I apologise for my wording in the message. I tried to say TRAMPaversary and Hoboversary and similar synonyms. They're all made up words rather than synonyms, but YouTube didn't let them through. The first one it let through was anniversary, which is, it then threw you. Apologies. Okay, folks, that was Wednesday night. Into Thursday morning. Now, like I said, I'd spent the day filming my my TRAMPaversary on the Wednesday. So I tried to knit all these clips together to make a video that would go out hopefully by 10 or 11 on the Thursday morning. And I failed. There were too many clips and too much work to do with trimming bits and removing maybe sweary bits or something. Not all of them, but the egregious ones. There was just too much work. So the video didn't make it out. I have a preferred time slot between 9 in the morning and, let's say, midday, but preferably actually 11 a.m. On a morning. After that, I'm really reluctant to release a video because they tend to just disappear and be unnoticed. It's just the way YouTube seems to be with me. So I missed the time slot for getting the video out, and I'd have to wait for the next day. But shortly after me missing that time slot, I hit a milestone. Let me get a swig of beer because I want to celebrate this again. Folks. That's getting quite warm. On YouTube, my videos, bearing in mind, I am a tramp, I live in a field. I currently live in a tent, but before the tent, I did live just in the fucking field. My videos on YouTube have been watched in excess now of 100,000 times. I could have never believed that when I first started the channel. 100,000 views of my videos. Absolutely fantastic. I don't understand you. But to you guys, the viewers, and the subscribers, and the donators. That one's gone. Bear with me. It's a teddy bear. Look at this. The ground was uneven and I was trying to even the ground in front of this. You're lodged on a laundry bin. Well, I'll show you in a second. But I needed to smooth the ground or flatten the ground just before we went live, or as we went live. Let me show you where you're perched. Tina girl, can you stop that? You might be on camera. Here guys, if we look down, can you see that? No, there's my writing, there's my notes. You're on a laundry bin. There's my feet, my legs anyway. There's my feet. Laundry bin, chopping board to give us more width. Here's my writing, here's my notes. Here's an upturned pan for extra height and the stand that the phone sits on. And to the right is my two-handed drinking. I think it was, was last week beer and coffee, or wine and coffee. This week I haven't bothered with the coffee. It's beer and red wine and cola. There's Tina munching down on her bits, which is why I keep asking her to stop. Hey girl! That's better. I had to dig in the other night. She was chowing down on her bits for so long that I decided to have a look. And there were a couple of insects walking around down there. Not masses, and there's not been any follow-up since. Just something must have crawled up and onto her just that day. But now it's the flies that are bothering her. $100,000 views, yeah? Spectacular. Let me just do this again. I've got to christen the new can, haven't I? Toot toot. Cheers. I don't know if we've got any of the old school still in chat. Okay. Where am I? We're into Thursday. We've just done 100,000 views, and I tweet it out and put a message out on YouTube community. And in the afternoon, this is where my friend Tom appears. And he's brought a Tupperware container with frozen watermelon. Slightly thawed, well, halfway. Thawing watermelon. So it's nice and cold and refreshing. And also a bottle of frozen water. So our friend Tom comes and visits, yeah, Tina? Tom visits. Yeah. And we discover Tina likes watermelon. She's been with me 8 years. And I'm just discovering that she likes watermelon. Pears, no. Bananas, no. Oranges and lemons, no. Apple, 50-50, depending on the specific type and whether there's skin on it. If there's skin on it, she doesn't want to know. But with some types of apple, she'll eat the apple, or slices of apple, as long as there's no skin. But watermelon, she can't get enough of. I suddenly discover my girl's got expensive tastes. But Tom had bought a full watermelon, not just like a... In the supermarkets here, you can get quarters and eighths. But I think he'd gone to a market and got a full one. Anyway, later that night, Thursday night, me and Tina go for a late night walk. Like, I'm talking about like late night. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And over at the bins, there's what I can't work out whether it's a fan or like a small portable aircon unit or something. It's like it's a barrel shape, thin, but upright. Tina. It's thin, but cylindrical. And I haven't got any kind of lighting on me. I haven't got my phone with me. I haven't got my head torch. I've got nothing. It's dark. So I figure if it's got any kind of cooling, it's going to use more power than my EcoFlow can provide. My EcoFlow ordinarily can provide 250 watts. And it has this extra setting where it can play around by reducing amps and... Hold on, how does it go? Reducing volts and increasing amps, or increasing amps and reducing volts. It can go to about 500 watts in total by manipulating these variables anyway. But if this thing is an actual, if it's got any kind of cooling built in, it would be too much of a power draw for my EcoFlow. So I leave it. So that's Thursday night. But Friday morning, my doggie gets me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Because Tina, you know? And we go the long way around. We do the long walk around on the cliff tops and whatever, and we end up... I got to take the baggie and put in the bin, yeah? But I've got the head torch on. And this... I thought that the bin men would have taken it away. But this thing's still there, this cylindrical fan or aircon or whatever it is still there. So I turn the head torch on and I have a look at the power draw. There's always a little label telling you how many watts it draws and volts and amps. And the thing uses between 20 and 30 watts. So I know instantly it doesn't do any kind of cooling, but it's electric, it's a fan, and it's better than the fan I've got. I've got a big, tall, you know, like a desk fan, but the big tall one. And it oscillates, it turns the head. Tina, shut the fuck up. It oscillates around, but the legs are broken and it's unstable. And I've got it, I can use it, it's better than nothing. But I bring this thing back just in case. We'll bring it back. We don't even know if it works, but we'll bring it back, plug it into the EcoFlow River 2, lowest model, 250 watt output, and we'll see how we go. I am a tramp. I live in a field, in a tent. There's no electric supply, but I've got electric because 100 watt solar panel and 250 watt hour EcoFlow River 2. Lowest model. But it's better than nothing. I can power a TV if I have to. I can power an electric slow cooker if I have to. And now I've got 2 fans that I can power with it and an extension cord. In theory, I could power them both at once. And my cool box, it'll power my cool box from either 12 volt cigarette lighter adapter or 230 volt AC. I am the king of the tramps, more or less. Thumbs up, folks, if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already. I was actually aiming for 30, but we had a hiccup at the start of the stream where I had to delete the stream that had been lined up and I had to recreate a new one. We've probably got a lot lower numbers than we might have had otherwise because of that. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Google, stroke YouTube. Thank you for your shenanigans with orientation. Even now, my screen orientation is telling me, my phone's telling me to put the phone that way. But everybody's telling me that that's not what they're seeing. They want it that way. Mine now says orientation is locked, rotate device back. Okay, folks. Okay, folks. Dog walk, head touch, got the fan, brought the fan back. Didn't try it immediately, left that until later in the day. But yeah, it uses between 20 and 40 watts max. But there's no cooling. I mean, anything that involves active cooling or active heating, there goes hundreds of watts. That's just a different ballpark altogether. Which is why I didn't pick it up in the first place, because I thought it might have that. No. It's fantastic. Honestly, I lie there now, I turn it on, and I lie on the bed and with it pointing at me. Once the sun's up and it starts to get warm, I got the fan on me, and it's fantastically cool. I turn it off, and within 10 minutes, I'm dripping with fucking sweat. I hate to think what my my bedding, where I'm laying, is, because all these weeks until now, yeah, it's going to be a grimy, slimy mess. But hey, most single blokes' beds are a grimy, slimy mess one way or another. That's not where I was going. Okay, got the fan. I don't think there's much for Friday. Oh, this is where I experimented with doing an intro video. I'm going to look. 2 guys walking past on their phones. A little bit gay. I experimented with doing an intro video. You know, I'd been talking about whether I could do a video with clips from all of my videos, like to tell the story of my Tramphood. Tramphood? I'm inventing words like Trampaversary and Tramphood now. But what I decided to do, I decided I couldn't download all of those videos and make a good clip, a good set of clips out of them and make an actual video, like an actual documentary. So I just downloaded all of the thumbnails. And then I set them all to change on some multiple of half a second. Some change after half a second, some after 1 second, 1.5. One or two of them might hang on for 2 seconds, just to let you really take in what's happening. Like the Tramp got arrested one, or the tent splits end to end. But there's this and I found a piece of music that matched. So I made like it was meant to be under 30 seconds and it ended up with something like 34.5 seconds. But I couldn't trim it without losing stuff, so I kept it as it was. My intention is, I start a video, I give like a 10 or 15 second intro, and then I say, let's go! And then we do the and I thought that'd be great. And my video editing software's got an audio library built in that you're allowed to utilize. There's a little thing about putting a little block of text. Yeah, I have to watch an advert first and then put a little block of text in the description. Okay, no problem. Yes, problem. Every video I now add my new intro to gets copyright claimed by the authors of the audio. I put in my appeal. I've done this in the past. I used to have an outro rather than an intro, which you will see if you watch the video from when the tent splits. That was from back in the days when I did an outro. So by including that whole video, the outro's there. They did the same where they claimed the copyright and I appealed and they let it go and no harm was done. These guys though have now claimed 2 videos. And they're not in, the other lot released it within 24 hours. These lot I'm now up to something like 72 hours and they've not released it, which I'm not happy about. So YouCut, which is my video editor, I won't be using your fucking software library anymore. I'll probably edit my videos with you and then feed it through the YouTube, what's that called? They've got a creation software now with an audio library. I'll probably create it in YouCut, output it with audio but without the music background, and then I'll put the music in from the YouTube app. From the YouTube app. It's an extra step. It'll be a ball ache. Well, it'll be a ball ache to create it once. If I create it once as a separate standalone intro track and then insert it into other videos, shouldn't be a problem. But it won't be the same audio. I need to find something with that same half a second beat. But I quite liked what I came up with all the thumbnails from my first video, then the second one where there's a hole in the roof of the shack, of the shelter, 6 broom handles with a tarp over the top, and the very night I did my first video. I did my first video cooking stew, waiting for a storm. The storm came in, the water gathered on the roof. I went to lift the roof and put the water over the edge, and my whole arm just went through the tarp, went through the roof. Big hole in the roof. First night, it's the same night I did my first fucking video. I was going to say you couldn't have planned it better, but I'll say you couldn't have planned it worse. It was terrible. Memories again, folks. Memories again. And I made that video, when I've got all the thumbnails, I did them all equidistant at first. Everything was half a second. But then on the important ones, or the ones I thought deserved more attention, or that needed longer to read the text on the image, I elongated them. Multiples of half a second, 1 second, 1.5. The occasional one might be 2, I'm not sure. Just so that the one that sticks in my mind is Tramp got arrested. Meh. Now the one after it, where they threw my shit in the hedge here, I don't even think I've included. I get a lot of crap from people who think that the police are brilliant and that you just shouldn't, don't say anything bad about the police. Yeah. Back the blue till it happens to you. You will not find a homeless guy that doesn't have a criminal record. And it's not because all crims become homeless, or it's not because all that are homeless were already crims. It's that once you become homeless, you get so much attention from the police that they're going to try and do you for something eventually. I'm going off on a tangent, guys. I'm going off on a tangent. Let's get back to it. I got the fan from the bin. I experimented with an intro video. I then turned that intro video into a short, which is a landscape version, and tried to release it. When you release a short, initially, you don't get to pick the thumbnail that goes with that short. There is a mechanism, but it's hidden and not all the software does it. So I released a short and they picked one of these frames, one of these pictures from halfway through the video. I think it's about cooking what was it? It was cooking something, it was like a fish bolognese or something. So that's the thumbnail that goes out with my new headline, with my new intro video. No! So I have another go. I produced a second one, and this time when I upload it, I jump through the hurdles to specify the intro frame. But still not good. I released that same video twice, and it got 25 and 30 views each. One got 25, one got 30 views. I got 1,100 subscribers. I release a short and I can't get more than 20 or 30 views. Come on. I released the same video on TikTok. Yeah? I got 500 views. No likes, but 500 fucking views. Tina! Oi! Really? How many times do I have to tell you? You're going to hurt yourself. You can't just sit there scratching the same spot for 5 minutes. Come here. Let's have a cuddle. Let's have a cuddle. It's my girl. It's my girl. Yeah, leave the flies alone. I know, they're buzzing around you, but just leave them alone. They're a nuisance. We're going to go in soon. We'll get rid of it. We finish this and we'll get in. Okay, guys, we're coming up in 2 hours. We're halfway through Thursday. Let's get this job finished. Where are we? Oh, we're into Friday already. This is Friday. The dog walk and the fan, 40 watts. Oh, okay. And I tested my new fan, and it's brilliant. Very unstable. It's cracked and broken all over. It's held together with, not gaffer tape, duct tape. Held together with duct tape. Because it's, whoever had it has broken the stand. Whatever it stood upright on is gone. So you've got this cylinder that's top heavy. Tina. The cylinder's top heavy and it's obviously fallen over lots and become cracked and broken. They've thrown it out. Technically the fan still works. So if I can prop it upright and put it within a metre or so of the doorway and have it sucking in air from behind and blowing air into me in the bedroom, we're golden, we're all good. So this is what I'm doing. And it's fantastic, guys. It's revolutionary. When it gets to 10 o'clock now, instead of the coolest point in the tent being 35 degrees, it's now just 20 odd. It's marvellous. It's brilliant. It's unstable. The dog knocks it over. I knock it over. Anybody, the wrong gust of wind will knock it over, depending on how you've got it perched. But it's for free. The electric's for free. It's only 20 watts, maybe 30 most of the day. Peak of the day, I might put it up to full whack for half an hour, maybe an hour. But peak of the day, we've got all the electricity we'll ever need. Peak of the day, we're sitting pretty when it comes to power. I have to power the fridge box, the cooler box outside. Especially now that I've cleaned out the rotten stuff and got all new in there. That wasn't nice. We'll get to that Sunday morning. But hey, let's go back to Friday. Tina, leave the flies alone. So the intro, tested the new fan. It's brilliant but unstable. This is where my friend Tom came back on his motorbike. Tom came back. And this time he's not bringing frozen watermelon. This time he's bringing roast chicken. And roast potatoes. That's a nice Friday lunch. He's been to the market, and I don't know whether he's bought half a chicken or he's bought a full chicken and gone home, cut it in half. But he's bringing me like a significant lump of chicken, and the rest of the Tupperware is full of roast potatoes. Yeah, not jagged potatoes, roasties. That's fantastic. So I eat that. Bear in mind, guys, I've become kind of a one meal a day kind of guy. It's a little bit awkward. Because I've promised people I'm going to go to Tweety's today, on the Friday. But I figure I can eat a meal at lunch and then have another one at dinner time, or headed for dinner time. I can, but I struggle. But we'll get there. Now this is where I released the video. This is on Friday, so I released the video, the day in the life on Wednesday. Hey up, cock! How's that doing? Bella, Belinda, Binny, the provider of the feast, the sponsor of the feast, folks. I'm just coming up to it now. I'm just about to talk about it. So I released my video about the Wednesday, my day in the life of my second Trampaversary. I released that video on Friday and instantly lose 2 subscribers. Like it's there, it's in the stats for the video. They left you because they were watching this video, they didn't like something and they fucked off you, they're gone. It's bang, done. They didn't like this video, they didn't like you, they're gone. It's your fault. Fuck 'em. Puritans, what can I do? Probably I swore too much at the wrong time. Or they subscribed because somebody told them to and they didn't realise. Maybe an American told them to subscribe and they thought it was all about America. And it turns out I'm English in Spain and maybe it just wasn't. I can pontificate forever about why they might have left. I am quite sweary. My recent videos have been quite sweary because it was the anniversary of the tent ripping in half. Like I said, imagine what you would do if you lived in a tent. It's the back end of summer. You've got winter coming up. You've got all the autumn showers. You've got all the rain in Spain falls mainly on you. And your tent's just ripped in half, 1 meter wide by 4 meters that way. You'd be a little bit concerned and maybe a little bit sweary when it first happened. That's the video I released. I don't know. People saw me, people unsubscribed. What can you do? So Tom has he's bought me chicken and roast potatoes. I've released a video and lost subscribers. But it's Friday afternoon, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. I've announced to people I'm going to be at Tweety's for fish and chips. So off we damn well trot. Off to Tweety's. It's about twice. When I've said Mercadona's this far and Tina struggles to get there and back, Tweety's is about twice as far. So she has to do the equivalent of there and back in one just to get there. And we get there, and without thinking, I never use the lift. I never use the elevator. I go up the stairs. There's two lots of stairs. One is like a ramp-like configuration, a long, slow incline, and one's more it's not a spiral staircase. It's concrete and everything, but it's a stairwell. I'd take us up the stairwell because that's the way we've always gone, me and my girl. I got hold of her by the lead, quite tight because she can misbehave sometimes. So I've got her. If I say by the neck, don't over analyze that. You know, I've got hold of her loosely, but it's on her neck. It's a collar. It's not a harness on her back. We set off up the stairs. Excuse me. Oh, beer burps. We set off up the stairs. We get about a third of the way up, and her back legs give. She starts to slide backwards, and I'm pulling her forwards. I'm dragging my dog forwards by the neck, stopping her from falling down the stairs. She gets a hold again with her feet, and we carry on, and we get about 2/3 of the way up. And now we can see the lady from the fish and chip shop from Tweety's who's about to get in the lift. It would have been so easy, but imagine getting in the lift just for one floor. I've never done that in my life. But Tina's struggling. And her legs are just, the more we go, the more her back legs are just not there. They're just collapsing under her. Guys, I don't think it's just that the police kicked her legs. I don't think it's just that the police kicked her. I think there's something seriously wrong. Because it hasn't got better in the last, 2 months now since my arrest. 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. Since they kicked the dog. It's not getting better. And I've tried painkillers and things with her. I tried to convince myself. I worked out the dosage for paracetamol for a dog based on kilograms and milligrams per kilogram and all of that. I tried to tell myself it was making a difference, and for a little while I actually did think it was, but no. I hoped that, you know, when some injuries you get are to do with swelling, and if you can take the pain away and stop things rubbing and stop the swelling, if you can take the swelling down so they don't rub anymore, then the pain goes away and future swelling goes away and the problem clears. It's been months now, and if anything, she's getting worse. I'm really worried about my girl. I am really worried about her. I don't think it's what I thought it was an injury from when the police kicked her. Free vet care in Torrevieja. If anybody knows of any free vet care in Torrevieja, let me know. I haven't discovered any thus far. Free or ultra cheap, because, you know, I got access to some resources sometimes. Via the kindness of you guys, obviously. But there isn't like a PDSA. It's not like there's a people's dispensary for sick animals on every corner. Let me carry on anyway, because I'm talking about walking to Tweety's, Bella. We're walking to Tweety's, and I do a video of going to Tweety's. And of course, this is where Belinda, Bella, Binny, all their other names. I don't know what she's hiding with all the different names, but shush, I'm not telling the tax man if you don't. But she sent me money, I don't know how, she sent me money 6 months, 9 months ago, however long it was, and said, hey, go and get fish and chips. And I always like to honour the, if someone sends me money with a stipulation, I always like to honour it. Now, she said at that time, go get fish and chips if you can, but don't worry if you can't. She gave me some latitude, which I took advantage of because it was the only money I had at the time, so I didn't feel I could go and blow the last of my money on fish and chips. when that was the last of my money. And she sent me other money in the meantime. I'm not sure how often, 2, 3, 4 times we've had donations from Belinda. But I've now got money in my back pocket because my friend Ismail converted some PayPal Monopoly money into coin of the realm. And I thought, well, now's the time, isn't it? I've got enough. I've got 50 in my back pocket. It's going to be €10 for the fish and chips, and between 5 and 10, depending on how many beers I have with it. So that's what we did. And we took a walk over there. Yesterday was the day. I'd said a week ago we were going to do it. So we were committed, and off we went. And it was fantastic, folks. Tweety's in Torrevieja is probably the best fish and chips in Torrevieja. I haven't had better anywhere else, and I've tried a few places. There are other places, but there aren't that many fish and chip kind of specialising places. Avenida de la Mancha, Aguas Nuevas in Torrevieja. I'll put a link in the in a pinned comment here, and there'll be a link in the description if there's not already. I think there is already. But Tweety's Fish and Chips, fantastic. We went there. I didn't do videos in there. I took a couple of photographs. So there's a picture of the dog under the table. There's a picture of my beer on the table. There's a picture of fish and chips and mushy peas. Fish, chips and mushy peas. My phone, though, was set to take some ridiculous aspect ratio. More than 2 to 1. It was like long and narrow. Don't know how that happened. I think it happened while I was trying to turn the flash off. Tina, calm down. I think it happened while I was trying to turn the flash off. In daylight, my flash was on, and the dog was jumping about while I was taking pictures. So I got this really weird. So I had to try and zoom in on them and try and I wasn't happy with the pictures. They've ended up kind of, sort of, more or less all right-ish. But it's not what the picture that you got isn't the picture I had in the view frame when I was taking the shot. That's disappointing. But like I said, we didn't take a video from inside Tweety's. I had a lovely chat with the staff there. I paid my bill. I was a little bit light on the tip. I had 20 and some shrapnel on me. And it came to 19. It came to 16. And the lady wrote the bill out, and I said, oh, do you think I could get one more beer? So I had a beer before my food. I had one with my food, and then I thought, can I sit back and just relax and have one after my food? And that's where I got that. If you watch the video, I got that kind of bilious feeling. I got that, oh, if I force all this beer down, I'm going to bring everything back up. Nothing wrong with the food. It's just, I'd had the chicken and chips in the morning, remember? The chicken and potatoes in the morning. My friend Tom. I was experimenting with suddenly having 2 meals in one day, which I haven't done while being homeless. I've become a 1 meal a day. Maybe a snack and a meal. But this time I had 2 full-on meals. And it was just, I was borderline, folks. I was borderline. It's why I only, see, historically when I go to Tweety's, I order the large fish and chips. And the fish hangs off both sides of the plate by about 2 inches. You got 2 inches of fish, you got the plate, you got all the way over the plate, and then you got another 2 inches. That's a large fish and chips. This time I just went with the standard because I'd already eaten in the morning or at lunchtime. But all hail Belinda. Guys and girls in particular, I guess, if you're of a dress-wearing persuasion, dresses, handbags, earrings, necklaces, go have a look. I'll put the link in the pinned comment here as well after we're all done. But if you look at the fish and chip video, there's already links to. You got to be in the UK. She's only delivering. The EU postal has become ridiculous. International postal has just gone backwards the last 3 or 4 years. Even before postal, when I was running my business, doing contracted services for people in Europe went silly because of the different VAT rates in the different countries. There used to be a rule that you used either your VAT or their VAT, and then it changed, and it suddenly had to register for VAT with every different country that you ever dealt with. Ah, that's going back maybe 10 years now. Tina girl. Tina girl. Thank you. But VAT went silly, then postage went silly. Now it's all gone totally bizarre and totally ridiculous. So Belinda's only doing delivery to the UK. If you're in the UK, if you are of a dress-wearing persuasion, for whatever reason, I don't ask questions, but if you can find the right dress at the right size, or the right earrings, handbags, necklaces, I don't know, go have a look. Go have a look at Belinda's store. Follow the link from the Tweety's video. Like I said, I'll add it here as well. Oh, wow, they're getting all spyy. Where did you buy it from? Is it yours? Can you prove it's yours? Oh, New York went like that. If you ever see a guy online called Lewis Rossman, he used to repair computers in New York. And what would happen is people would drop them off and never come to pick them up. And it was in his terms and conditions, if you didn't pick them up within X number of months, you forfeit your right to it. It becomes his. I mean, he'd make every effort to contact you and contact you and contact you. Then he got in trouble for selling stolen goods kind of thing. They accused him of selling things he didn't own because he didn't have any kind of receipt or purchase contract or... Yeah. Prove it's yours. Well, if you're going to sell it, prove you own it. Fuck you. Prove I don't. That should be the answer. That would be the proper answer. Maybe without the profanity. Anyway, guys, to Belinda, donator, funder, financier of the feast that we had on Friday. If you are in a position to check out our stuff, please do. I know I haven't got a large audience, but people who do nice things for me, I try and do nice things back, even if I'm underpowered in my ability to reciprocate. Okay, so we came back from Tweety's. Full belly, if you watch the video, I literally say at the top of the road, it's like I'm ready to upchuck. I'm struggling to hold it all in. But I did. I held it all in. There was no real problem. Now, this is Friday night. If you know me at all, you know that Friday night equals Friday night tights. You also know that just lately, the last 2 or 3 months, I've been struggling to get through Friday night tights. It's been becoming more and more difficult. And this was no exception. I was there. I was ready. I was watching. I got bored with the segment, so I switched away to something else. And I just didn't switch back. And here we are 2 days later. 2, 3, however many days later this is now. I haven't downloaded it and watched I haven't done the catch-up thing. I don't know what that's about. I think I still like it. Why do I switch away from it for a while because I'm bored by one segment? Why do I not go back if I like it? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that's Friday night. That's Friday night. I switched to something else and I just didn't go back. And I can't explain why. I haven't downloaded the episode to watch it on playback. Tina! Stop! What are you doing? You're going to make yourself ill. You can't scratch one area that much. Okay, folks, Saturday morning. As soon as the sun comes up, we do the morning ablutions, dog walk, solar panels, open doors, airflow, blah, 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 blah. Straight away. It's the second day. I only tested the fan for the first time yesterday, the Friday. Saturday, the fan's on as soon as it's like half night. As soon as the sun's up and on the tent, I got the fan on. And the solar panel trying to collect as much. It's not collecting enough to match what's going out to begin with, but it will as the sun gets higher above the tree and everything. So yeah. So this is where I released. This is where I released the video that's a. It's a clip from last week's TrampCast, TrampCast 40, where I talk about how last week was 1 year from the tent splitting end to end. I released that video and add the original videos from a year ago on the end. And lose subscribers. So it started well. It got plenty of views to begin with. Lots of views initially for the newly released video, but then it just hit a bang, just hit a barrier. YouTube just pulled the plug, didn't show it to anybody, nothing, no way, no never, no how, just froze, just gone. Nothing wrong. Actually, that's not quite true. I used when I say a few days ago, I made an intro with all the thumbnails. I included that in this video. But the authors say it's their audio, but you can use it. They claim the revenue. If your video gets monetized and makes sense, they want to claim the revenue, but you're allowed to use the music. Now I still say their music's provided by my video editing software as part of a library. So I presume they've licensed it, and then they've licensed it to me on certain terms. I'm waiting to hear. They've got up to 30 days to reply. The last time I had this issue, the company I was dealing with replied within 24 hours. These lot have been 42 or more now. Tina. Thank you. These lot have been more than 42, maybe 72. I can't do the maths. Where am I? So yeah, the discussion of tent apocalypse and all of that goes out. And that video was quite sweary. I make no bones about that. It was my instant, immediate reaction in the first couple of hours. Firstly, within a couple of minutes of it happening, I'm sat in my bedroom with a dark roof over me, and then I can see out there that it's light, and I think it's just part of the tent got a split. And then I come out and I see it's the entire length of and it's not just the entire length, it's 1 meter wide. I'm quite impressed that I carried on living in that tent for another 9 months after that. Through some of the strongest winds I've ever seen, through some of the strongest rainstorms I've ever seen, I carried on in that tent for months and months afterwards. And when I finally moved out of that tent, when I dismantled my bed, the entire thing collapsed. My bed was all that was holding that tent up. I constructed a bed out of bricks, a couple of cross beams and 4 planks. And when I removed those, the entire tent fell over. It's impressive in its own way. So yeah, that video is quite square. You imagine your tent split in half, you're going to be, oh my God, what the do I do now? It's all going to be a little bit difficult, a little bit tricky. Now, I'm contacted on Saturday night by Karen. She's arrived in the country on Friday. She's been busy all day Saturday. She's got some things happening, quite significant. But Saturday night, she says, hey, we can come round tomorrow morning. We're going to bring you water and she says water. And then she mentions this pack of beer. This beer. It's a 12 pack. Last time she was here, they were supposed to bring me 3 crates as they were leaving the country. I say supposed to like they're obligated. They offered to bring. They've made a purchase. Somebody gave them 6 or 7 crates of beer, and they were going to bring me 3. One of which was going to be really cold out of the fridge or freezer. So they put the 2 in the car, and they said, hey, we must remember to get that cold one before we go. And then they left. They've turned the fridge and the freezer, it's all turned off. But they didn't pick it up. So they got here last time and left that, and they've been gone a couple of months or more. And this time they come back, and the 12 pack's there in the bottom of the fridge or freezer. Oh, that's for him. That's for Delta Mike. That bloke there. And no one said my real name there. It's not Delta Mike. I am not Delta. I am not Mike. It's DM. Delta Mike. Alpha. You know the one. Alpha, Beta, Charlie. All that. Delta Echo, Foxtrot, Golf Hotel. All that. Cheers, Belinda. I'll have a look. I'll have a look in due course. I shall have a look in due course. Thank you. Where am I? Oh yeah, here's that beer we're going to take to Delta Mike, and they bring me a few things around here. Yeah, they told me that last night. So this morning I'm waiting for them coming round. Oh no, I've skipped a step. So they said that last night, and then last night, Saturday night, there's no Big Clive. He's still working on the Edinburgh tattoo on the lights. He's an industrial electrical engineer. But Scruff Dog has manfully stepped into the chasm left by Big Clive to provide a hangout for us folks that are missing Clive. And Scruff puts on a 4-hour live stream like this, except I think he has even less purpose. He doesn't have a screen full of notes, a sheet full of notes that he's following, as far as I can tell. He's got a general structure, and then he's just reacting to the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scruff. You've probably gone off now. You're probably in the middle of your own gaming stream. I'll join you later if you're still there. But yeah, Saturday night was I went over to Scruff Dogs and hung out with the guys over there, and 4 hours, like I said, it was a good evening. Scruff Dog chatting away, then the chat doing their thing, catching up with each other, catching up with old friends. Good stuff. So into Sunday morning. Early doggy walk, because some mornings she's just like that. All the solar, opening the doors, the cool box, the solar, all of that. Okay, except I go to set up the solar, and I lift up the box, the cool box, I lift up the lid, and something's really, really rancid. The bottom is just covered in a putrid, rancid film. Something that was a little bit on the turn yesterday or the day before is now liquefied crap on the... Tina! Oi! You're gonna hurt yourself. Something inside there is putrid and really, really smelly and really rancid. So I start lifting the couple... There's not a lot in there. A few bags of sausages. There's a cucumber gone bad. And a couple of tubs of aioli. Now, if water's got in them, they'll be ruined. If they're watertight, they'll be fine. But they're covered, they're caked in the water and the rancidness from all around them. So I I carry the box away and I empty it and I rinse it out. I haven't got much spare water at this point, so I start rinsing it out with what little I've got. Got a pan scrub and start wiping it out. A little bit of washing up liquid, just washing, dishwashing detergent, you might say, if you're not British. And I have a little clean around with it. To be fair, it still stinks now. But I pare it down, I get it back down to the stuff that I know to be good, and I throw away the bad. We take it to the bin. And so now I plug the cool box in so that there's nothing bad in there. Although inside the tent, I've got a few things that were on the turn yesterday. There was one thing, it was on the turn yesterday and now it had gone. It had liquefied overnight inside the tent. But August in Spain, you just can't win. You just can't win. Food just doesn't last. Last year I was going through bags of potatoes. I would buy like a 4 or 5 kilogram bag of potatoes, and 1 week later they would be, you pick the bag up and your fingers would go through the potatoes, and then you've got that. If you've ever smelt a bad potato, that smell, you can't wash that away. That smell stays on your fingers all day long. Even doesn't matter how many times you wash. So yeah, that. Where are we? Got the fan on as soon as we go. Oh, I was trying to work out the inverter overhead. This would have been one for the more technical family if they were still here. When I turn my 230 volt electricity supply on, it uses more power than it says it does. It shows you the actual draw from the devices. It doesn't take into account the extra watt hours of the inverter itself. Tina! I think it draws roughly 30 watts more than it says. And so turning the inverter on to run a 20 watt fan seems inefficient. So I was trying to gauge that, but I didn't. I need to just run I need to run it just for like a measured a 1 hour exactly, because I know that the battery holds 250 watt hours. But that just, it's technical. I just need time to experiment, and I didn't get a proper run at it this morning. I started to get an inkling. I started to get an idea. Tina girl, if I have to say Tina one more time, I hope none of you got headphones on. I apologise if you do. But it's like I tell her to stop doing something and 20 seconds later she's back doing it. It's like when I tell her to sit down, she won't sit down. If you give her the sit down command, either sit or the signal, she'll sit down. She knows what's expected of her. Sometimes it takes her 20 seconds to do it. Tina! Sometimes it takes her 20 seconds to do it. But within 20 seconds she'll be back up on her feet again. Just like now, she was back up again. Back doing, well not up, she's back doing what I told her not to do. Okay. Washing out the cool box, putting stuff in. I've got stuff in the tent going bad. And I released the video. And I didn't think this one was going to do anything. The Tramp goes to Tweety's video. The 2 videos I released yesterday got about 70 hits each, 70 views each. And then died on their ass. They just stopped. They just went nowhere. This one has been pulling in about 20 views an hour every hour since I launched it. Until the start, I haven't seen it for a couple of hours because I'm talking to you guys. And I can't leave this screen, otherwise everything collapses on me. But there we go, folks. That was Sunday morning, waiting for my friends to come around, clearing the box out. Then my friends come around and they bring me the beer. They bring me a few bits of food and some cold drinks. There's a cola, there's a bit of sangria, there's some little canisters, those little fruit drinks. Um, we'll, oh, speak of the devil. Devil-esque? I don't know. So there I was Sunday morning, guys. I'd cleared the cool box out. I was waiting for a delivery, wasn't I? Who from? Karen and family. Some cold beers and some water and some little drink cartons and sachets and bits and pieces. Better late than never. You've been working, don't worry. I understand. I know I'm not the most... Oh, no, you haven't been working. You're here. What am I talking about? You've probably been busy, though, in your own way with that other thing that you've got going on. I'm just used to you working on a Sunday. I forgot that you were here, even though you were here this morning. Well, I don't know. My mind's gone. Okay. So anyway, I've released the Tweety's video. I got food in the tent starting to turn. It wasn't quite perfect a couple of days ago or a day ago, and now it's turned rancid. I'm running the new fan first thing in the morning as the sun comes up, like I said, and we're waiting on Karen family bringing the water and the cold beer and the other deliveries. To Karen and family. Cheers. Karen and family are the beer sponsors of this particular episode. In an informal way, before YouTube start looking at me and why I'm not putting an official sponsorship logo on. Tina girl. Tina, if you don't stop, I'm going to get very, very angry. Okay, where am I? Got the new fan running. It cut out. It always has a time. You can never just turn it on. You have to turn it. The maximum is 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 3. So it's got this timer. I generally set it for half an hour and figure we'll see how we go. It cuts out, and immediately, like I mean, within 5 minutes, I've got. Is ribules a word? Ribules of sweat. I've got little rivulets, little streams of sweat running down my chest and my arms. I'm watching water appear out of my arms, out of like nowhere. I'm just watching rivulets. That's a word, isn't it? I'm just watching water appear out my arms and start running off, and it's within a minute or two, like seconds really, of the fan stopping, the new fan. So I have to keep that on. We're at the back end of August now. I mean, this isn't going to be too much longer. Another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and there'll be, whenever the first cold snap happens, probably 1 week into September, there'll be a cold snap and a thunderstorm, and that'll be it. The temperatures will take a step change down 10 degrees in daytime. It'll go from being 32, 33. Step change, it's only 23. And it'll stay there until Christmas. Christmas Eve, I've sat out sunbathing through the day and had it be 24, 25 degrees. The only difference is you get a shorter day. It's not the temperature of the day. Well, you've got this summer peak and then it drops. And then that's it. It doesn't change anymore. Even in January and February, it'll still be 20 degrees through the day. It's just that you get a shorter day and a cooler night. But here we are, folks. This is where we're at. I've just got a new fan. It's fantastic. I've got the electricity to power it. And in 3 or 4 weeks, it kind of won't matter because we'll be back down to normal temperatures. Anyway, my friend Karen arrives and family, and they bring all the things I've been talking about. They bring the 32 litres of water. That's a lifesaver. That saves me so much worry about can I get and bring water before it gets cooler, before the flight. but before it gets hot or before the flies start biting. That solves that problem. And they're going to come back in the next few days and take away all my empties and fill all my empties. Fantastic, folks. Fantastic. If you can, type thank you, Karen, in the chat. Everybody. Come on, everyone who's here. Thumbs up if you haven't hit thumbs up as well, folks. My original target was for 30 thumbs ups. But I had a cock up with YouTube at the start of the stream. I had to delete the stream. I had a 10-minute delay. Had to create a new stream and wait for people to find me. And it's been a bit of a setback. So if you could just hit the thumbs up just to help a tramp out. Put me back on track a little bit. Okay, sweat stop dripping. Karen and friends, Karen family come, bring the water and food and everything else. Forget a couple of other bits, but we can take care of that in the next week or two, however long you're over here. Oh, when they arrived, okay. I've been waiting for them in the morning, and they arrived early afternoon, just as I start writing. Well, not just as I start writing my notes. I'm well into writing my notes, and if you know, my Sunday morning I kind of have to myself. 12 o'clock is my. I can't start before, but 12 o'clock is my. That's the latest I start typing. Right, typing up. You can tell I'm a computer programmer. Typing up. I start writing up my notes. 12 o'clock at the latest. Start writing them, and I'm in a sweaty tent, so I've got a towel on my lap. I've got my writing pad. Then I've got a towel over the writing pad with my arm laying on the writing pad, so I'm not smudging anything. It's all a bit of a process, folks. I'm laying there in a hot tent now with two layers of towel over my front, so that I can be writing up my notes. But as soon as they arrive, I get one of those cold beers out the pack of cold beers. Did I say last week that this list of synonyms, tramp, hobo, vagrant, etc. I added bum recently, and there was discussion about whether or not to add wino. Tina's okay. You're okay, babe. Tina's okay. It's okay. Daddy's okay. Tina's okay. You're going under your tree. I don't know why. What protection does that offer from explosions? Let me see if I can show you the girl. Here she is. She just went under her. She was here with me, and then she just went under the bush over there where that plastic container is. There was a firework went off, and she figured that bush was going to offer some kind of protection from the fireworks. But she's learnt her lesson. She's come to her daddy. If you can't find somewhere safe, just come and cuddle your daddy. Hey, babe, I got you. If you saw the video, if you did see the video from the TRAMPaversary, the 2-year one, when the thunder and lightning and ring, Tina's on the bed, cuddling her daddy, because she's frightened. She has two possibilities. She can go into her corner, which she did eventually, but if she's really, really frightened, she'll come and find her daddy for cuddles. He'll protect her. Hey, babe. She knows her daddy will protect her. Okay, folks, where are we? We're coming up on 3 hours. We're 2:43. Let's see if we can't finish this all off before 3 hours and let you all get on with your lives. Again, folks, I know we're rotating different people in and out all the time. I was aiming for 30 thumbs up. If we could at least hit 20, that would be a consolation prize. Where am I? Waiting on Karen. 32 litres of water, cold beer, food and drink. I released a Tweety's video. It's getting 20 hits. I had no idea. This Tweety's video looks like it's going to run and run. This Tweety's video just looks like it's not going to stop. Normally I release a video and it might get 15 or 20 hits, 20 views in the first hour. And then it slows off. This one carried on at 20 views per hour, maybe a little bit less, 16, 17, 18, but for all day long so far. I haven't seen in the last 3 hours, obviously I'm here, but absolutely fantastic. I don't know what it is. Is it the picture, the fish and chips? Is it the title? Is it the Twitter post and the YouTube post? Tramp and his dog walks into a fish and chip shop. Stop me if you've heard this one. It does sound like the beginnings of a joke, but no, after 2 years I finally walked into Tweety's fish and chips. And it was fantastic. If you're ever in Torrevieja, highly, highly recommended. Standard portion, fish, chips, mushy peas, €10. A pint of beer, €3. It's got to be one of the cheapest beers in town now, €3. And fish, chips, mushy peas on a Friday for a tenner. Now large is probably going to be a little bit more. But if you get the large, if you look at the photo that I've got there, if you get the large, it's going to hang over both sides of the plate by 2 inches. 2 inches this side, 2 inches that side. So you'd have all the fish I've got there in the middle and another 4 inches. 10 centimetres. 5 centimetres each side. Highly, highly recommended. Avenida de la Mancha. And they haven't paid me a thing. They gave Tina an extra sausage. They don't know I'm doing this. They don't know I'm saying this. They don't know that I'm me. Interestingly, sidebar. Let's have a little aside. Big Clive, a guy that I really appreciate online. He's a friend of Scruff Dogs. He doesn't know me, but Big Clive has 1 million followers. Electrical genius. He takes things apart and reverse engineers them and tells you what's good and what's bad about them and what's lethal and what's not, and why you shouldn't buy certain things from Poundland and why other things are fantastic. 1 million followers. Something like 3 times in his life he's been stopped in the street by someone who recognises him. And he lives on the fucking Isle of Man. He lives on a small island where you would think everyone would know that there's someone with 1 million YouTube followers. I got 1,000, I've got 1,100 followers. Someone asked me not long ago, do you get stopped? Have you ever been stopped by someone who recognises you? That's not going to happen for about 1,000 years at the current rate. That's just not even a thing. Not with 1,000 or 1,100 followers. Talk to me when I get to 500,000 and we'll see if it's ever happened. But just an interesting question, just a little aside. Where am I? I'm lost. Tina girl. Okay, yeah, the video that just went on and kept going and kept going. Bearing in mind, guys, yeah, when I said that this thing was getting 20 views per hour for the first 4 or 5 hours, in the first half hour, you get nothing. It takes YouTube time to start pushing it out, and there are no views to begin with. But I'm surprised. I'm happy. It's doing well. And from those first 105 views that I monitored, we got 15 likes. That's incredible. That's incredible. 14 or 15% of people are giving it a thumbs up and no thumbs down. Brilliant. But the rest of the day was writing out these notes because, you know, that's my Sunday. I write out these notes for you guys. And then in the last half an hour before we go live, I start moving parasols and laundry bins and chairs and things around. Bring out my beer and my wine and cola. Getting my dog ready and bringing the dog's drinking water over. Preparing for you. You are the biggest part of my Sunday. And I appreciate each and every one of you. All of you that have joined me here while I've been live. I know you rotate in and out. Very few watch the whole thing. Especially when it's starting to approach 3 hours. But I appreciate you all. If you're here and you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. Let's have a think about what we've got upcoming this next week. I haven't thought about this yet. It's just more of the same, isn't it, guys? It's more of the same. I've got to try and clean out the tent a bit. I might have another go at wiping out the cool box because that smells just nasty, which probably means there are bacteria and things lurking in there that will get into other things if not disposed of. So I'll have another go at cleaning that out. But I've got to tidy the tent out. I've got things in the tent that are going. Well, I say going off. That's overstating it. But in this time of year, late August, the length of time from looking at something and saying, "Oh, that onion's starting to get a little overripe," and that onion being liquefied, total liquefaction in the bottom of a bag, 24 or 48 hours. That's the only difference. But I don't really like to keep onions in the cool box in the fridge because they get damp, and then sometimes they get more moldy more quickly that way. Because this is not a fridge. There's no compressor. It's not proper cooling. The way it does things causes a kind of a condensation in the lid, and it just drip down onto things. Things do end up sat in kind of a pool of water over time if you leave it too long. It's difficult keeping the balance right. But yeah, I don't think there's really much other than more of the same. And I need to clean out the tent and get it a little bit more organised if I can. I said last week I spent 5 hours tidying the tent and it didn't look any better. It actually looks worse. I think shuffling things around, picking up here, putting it down there, I don't think that works. I think pick it up, bring it outside. Pick everything up, bring everything outside from each particular room. There's 3 rooms essentially. If I can do that, room by room, pick everything up, bring it outside. On day 1, do 1 room. Clean everything out, sweep the floor, just do whatever needs doing, any repairs or anything that I spot, and then put things back. Sounds like a lot of work. This is not the time of year to be doing that. You don't want to be doing that during full daylight in the middle of summer. But maybe the middle of next month. So if I can do a holding pattern, if I can just keep going until September, as long as I can find days where it's not going to rain. But I don't know, guys, I'm talking about putting things off until next week. Like ever, I'm clipping. I've got clips to make, excerpts to take from last week's TrampCast still. I've got a whole library of issues that I haven't done excerpts from. My channel seems to be on the up, honestly. But I don't want to overdo things. I don't want to be bombarding you with 4 videos a day every day, kind of. Balancing act, like everything. We'll see. We'll see. But I think that's it, folks. I think that's it. That's me. Unless there's any questions that are specific to this week's activities and this week's events, I don't think there's really anything, is there? You're welcome to ask. I'll give you about 30 seconds. And then I'll do the from Tina and from me thing and we'll say goodbye. Let me see if I can get chat to work. Oh, thumb in front of the... But failing that, I'm going to say bye-bye to you. I'm going to grab another beer. And then I'm going to go and watch Scruff Dog. On YouTube, guys, Scruff Dog is single F. Scruff, just like the word, like mucky, S-C-R-U, but single F. Dog. And it's all one word. Good bloke. There's also Big Clive, BigClive.com, where dot is the word dot, D-O-T, all one word. Big Clive, D-O-T-C-O-M, BigClive.com. These are my people, technical people. A little bit more technical than me, probably in most ways. Certainly in the physical, spanners and electrician and screwdrivery. I'm more programming and internet, a little bit. No bragging. I'm not here for that. Content management systems. Joomla versus WordPress versus Drupal back in the day. They're probably the three main competitors still even now. Yeah. Let's not go there. That's not what this is about. Okay, folks, I've still got this crappy orientation is locked thing that came up. Wasn't there to begin with, it only came when I dropped the phone. But, Tina girl, from Tina. And now it won't turn back to me. Oh, okay. And from me, Delta Mike, out.